Since 1900s, a special day has been set aside to celebrate women and push forward on steps that close the gaps that affect women's development. The International Women's Day. Digivation Network joined in the celebration with this year's theme of Embracing Equity, as United Nations emphasis is on digital, innovation and access to ICT knowledge for women. The Nigeria ICT ecosystem was charged to embrace equity, as this will bring about more development for the sector. This call was made during Digivation Network IWD Talk 2023. From policy to regulation, capacity development to product development, women need to equip themselves with knowledge for participation.
Embracing equity for innovation and technology development in Nigeria ICT sector is about us bringing together our ideas, our creativities that will enhance us and enable us in that advancement that will make the world a different place and a better platform for all of us to live in. So that is what I have seen, that we are bringing together this innovation and technology to develop Nigeria in the ICT world, where we all can have a very decent and comfortable platform to play in.
As part of efforts to bridge the gender gap between male and female stakeholders in the ICT industry. All of this is a good one, but the missing thing is the ability to walk the talk, to support gender equality in the tech space. The key players will need to propel this movement. It's not just be policies on paper. We should see it materializing, and more private sector players too joining hands to ensure that more of things like this are put to the fore. I mean, all of these, can help us, thrive.
It's knowing when to be heard and being heard, knowing when to be seen and being seen. It's just being intentional and intuitive. If you enter a space and you don't want to, it is about what you want to. If you don't think that you want to be heard, then just be there meekly and listen and absorb what you want to absorb, get what you want to get and leave. But if you have a contribution to make, then by all means make it. If it's not, you don't know who's listening, you don't know who's watching, you don't know who has something to learn from what you've just said, or who you're giving a fresh perspective on an issue. So by all means, like, just be yourself, do what you want to do without any fear, confident in your abilities and your experiences.
Need to share information on policy and institutional issues, skills development, exchange transfers, and all of that. Attract financing and investment from private sectors and others. So we might not have a lot of women. We need more. But like I said, if these policies are okay, they're genuine, and those that have implemented it will keep it running, hit the ground to allow it run. It doesn't really matter who is pushing this policy. Is about having things not just on the pages of papers, but it being coming into life, coming into play, and the effect being felt by all. To me, that's what I think.
And I would say, yes, we need women. Again, we need women represented at every level, just for inclusion, just to bring like a unique perspective, a different perspective into the room. However, what I think is policy making for the industry is basically reflective of the country right now. If you look at the policy makers at the federal level, state level, local, even like public and private, even in banking, there is a somewhat more developed industry. When you get to that top and it gets to things like policy making, the women are lesser in the room, right? But what I think is we've gotten to a point where we're moving beyond demanding to have representation to creating those opportunities where we are heard. If you don't hear us in those rooms, you will hear us outside the rooms. However, we are heard, right? That's one thing. And again, like Madam Louisa said, it's very important that we go from a point of talking about policy making and creation and development to actually implementing those policies, because things like policies can be like a tick the box in this country. It is just there for the sake of being, so that they know that we've done it, right? But actually implementing those things at every level is where we should be pushing for, so that we as women can also identify what is working and what is not working, where the gaps lie, and where the
Everywhere. Reason why we're having this discussion, reason why we are scaling up, reason why we're doing all that we're doing so that our impact can be felt in everywhere, not just today you see people doing politics. So I mean everywhere. Let's just be all rounder. I need women to be everywhere. I want to walk into a room where I'm discussing. When I look up, I see like 3 or 4 women. So like that, I'm able to feel comfortable, not where I walk in, I just see all men.
Nigeria ICT sector contributing 18% to the country's GDP, women in Nigeria's tech ecosystem make 22% of the industry's workforce. Increasing women's participation in technology will help close the gender gap and reach its full potential.
Share and subscribe to this channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network.
This is Digivation Network.